Hello everyone, I'm Kiv, and today we're going to be finishing our run-through of the Warhammer 40k Dawn of War. A couple of weeks ago, we turned the green tide of the orcs into a red sea of blood, so that was really fun. But if you do want a little bit of context for this video, then here, click on this. I really hope I edit that properly. Similar to my previous Dawn of War video, this is going to be kind of like a mishmash, where we get a little bit of a run-through of the story, and also a couple of pointers about why I think the game is so good, and what makes it just, mwah, chef's kiss. But that's, yeah, pretty much about all you need to know, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. Picking up where we left off, Isador has a couple of spooky conversations with the Chaos Sorcerer Sindri. It's kind of just icing on the cake at this point, but the voice acting at the start of the game was really good. But right now, it's top-notch. I mean, without a doubt in my mind, during the campaign, each moment has one of the voice actors just delivering an amazing performance. It really hits home because each of them sound so unique, and they just seem to nail exactly what you would imagine those characters to sound like. It's honestly hard to pick one singular actor because all of them do such a great job. The next act, however, is where the plot thickens, and with the Blood Ravens chasing after Chaos and running head first into the Eldar. The Eldar are done pretty well in this game because their playstyle fits into their lore really nicely. Orcs are kind of funny, dumb, and almost any problem is solved by either overwhelming the enemy or hitting them harder. Space Marines and Chaos are very versatile with lots of different units, and they're kind of like a Swiss Army knife, but the Eldar feel like a series of glass cannons, where if you have the right unit for the job, it will destroy the enemy easily. But if you have the wrong unit, it's going to feel like you're shooting at the enemy with snowballs instead of bullets. Going through the missions, they are a pretty average mix of melee and ranged units that you go up against with cool sci-fi sounding weapons, but at the final chapter of the Eldar's portion, shit hits the fan because they bring in the avatar of Cain and he just runs into the ring with a steel chair. I mean, every time I see him just strutting at the front of the map, it's just, my jaw hits the floor. These days, Warhammer lore uses the avatar of Cain as just a way to show that a character is powerful. But back in 2004, these guys meant business. Like, I remember thinking as a kid, what the shit? They got a Balrog in their freaking army? That's busted. Defeating the Eldar is okay. It feels like the weaker aspect of the campaign, but I will say it does serve as more of a building up point because the real enemy, Chaos, is working in the background. While you're chasing the Eldar, Isador has continued to slowly go further down the road of desperation until Chaos is able to play him like a fiddle. You find out that Chaos are actually after an artifact called the Maledictum, which houses a powerful Chaos demon. However, when you finally reach it, Isador pulls out the Uno reverse card and joins Chaos, taking the artifact with him. It's kind of funny though, because straight after betraying his brothers, he then immediately gets betrayed by Sindri, which is just peak Chaos Space Marines. And I also love the fact that he has a moment where he realizes how badly he fucked up, but he has to stick with Chaos because the only forgiveness that the Space Marines will give him is a bolter shot to the head. A lot of games in general have a traitor or a twist of some kind, but it's just established, like, here's an evil guy that seems really sus, but he's supposed to be on your side. The difference in Dawn of War is you actually see Isador's descent because of his own desperation. His relationship with Gabriel is stretched to its very limit, and then it's broken. He starts the game as a wise old friend with a calm demeanor, but at the end of the game he is an outright traitor and is full of seething rage. He had all of the good intentions of using the demonic powers against the enemy, but this isn't an anime. He just becomes another Space Marine, just another man lost to the corruption of chaos. As you continue the campaign, you really feel the intensity and the tension building. Everyone knows that Chaos are the ones that they actually have to stop, but nobody is doing it. It seems like a recipe for disaster, but that's Warhammer 40k in a nutshell. This is, in my opinion, what makes Dawn of War so good. It's faithful to the franchise first and foremost, both in its lore and also in its gameplay. Morale actually matters, so if you're in a fight and your units are getting bodied, then they're gonna lose the will to fight, and then things are gonna go from bad to worse very quickly. You have an army painter, and it really isn't the biggest thing that you would think of for a 2004 strategy game for what color your units are going to be, but that's a massive aspect of the hobby, and it's nice that the developers actually gave a shit. They actually cared enough to be able to say, hey, this is a huge aspect of Warhammer, we have to put this in the game. So that's really awesome, and I'm very glad that this game was done faithfully. But without a doubt, the most important and the most faithful adaptation into this game is that everybody is racist. Like, the Eldar have the right idea of trying to stop chaos, but they're arrogant bastards.
The humans are coming your way in full force. You should hear their heavy feet long before you see them, and smell them long before that.
They would rather fight the humans than warn them, or imagine even working with the humans. Until the very end at least, they are hostile to you. But yeah. Anyway, where were we? Oh yes, Spiky Boys are here and everything's on fire. So Isador is now a full-blown traitor, and while Sindri sneaks off again with any remaining loyalists, you have to charge and hopefully stop all of the enemies before the demon can be unleashed. When replaying this game with a bit more Warhammer knowledge, imagine my surprise when an Inquisitor actually admits that they are wrong. Wow, that doesn't happen often, does it? Throughout this game, there are a whole bunch of really good one-liners, but one of the things that it just kind of really hit me was the line where Toth says that he suspected the captain for corruption because it would take either nerves of steel or rot to call an exterminatus on your own homeworld. And to me, I just kind of heard that line and I was like, oh damn, he went there. But after giving Isador his redemption with a bullet to the head in what I can only assume is a vague Starship Troopers reference.
This is for all you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights. No one quits. If you don't do your job, I'll kill you myself. Do you get me? We get you, sir!
If redemption is what you seek, then that is what I will give you. This is the fate of traitors. Remember this, and do not stray. If you do, I will be ready to render you the same service.
You then get yourself a Warhammer, because the game is Warhammer, and it has to have a Warhammer in the Warhammer. I think there's enough Warhammers there now. But you then charge your way to the finish line. After beating Sindri, you then destroy the Maledictum and save the day. Praise the Emperor. Well, actually, no, because it turns out that you have released the demon from its cage, because every time that something died during the campaign, it acted as a sacrifice to the demon. But this demon is a fedora-wearing gentleman, so he decides to spare you as a thanks, but he promises to return and claim the captain. So that finishes the campaign for the main game, and I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a classic game that has aged very nicely, and the whole experience is just mwah, chef's kiss. But I can't end the video without finally touching on the awesome experience which is skirmishes in the game. Skirmishes, or basically PvP, is an awesome experience. You have a literal shit ton of maps with various designs and themes, and it's the best way to unleash the full potential of the game, whether you want to duke it out in a 1v1 or unleash the true Warhammer carnage of a 4v4. You can set up whatever you want with some interesting team-ups. The best compliment that I can give this game is that it isn't Age of Empires in space. It's not about sitting back, commanding villagers to gather resources and waiting long enough to bulldoze your enemy. No way, this is Warhammer, baby! Controlling the map means more resources, so the only way to grow is to expand. This means war! So the fight for resources is built into combat itself, which is a really, really smart and faithful way to design the game. You can do PvP, but even the AI on harder difficulties can be a good challenge. So that pretty much does it for the original Dawn of War game. I really had a blast replaying this game, and once again, a special shout out to the modders for creating such a wonderful and well executed experience. If you do want to see more of this kind of content, then you already know what to do, because there are plenty of DLCs for this video game. I hope that you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all on the next one. I've been Kiv, and I'm out.